get it started now. Freedom, 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 freedom. My freedom begins at Life Force Canada.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Glad you're here. So while we're waiting for people to join, I want you to share in the chat one reason you love living in Canada for those of you who are in Canada. I know it can be difficult to answer that due to what's been happening in this country of ours, but we really need to focus on the positive. For example, I just saw a video, I'm not too sure what country it was filmed in, but a family heard noises in their attic and they started poking at their suspended ceiling and it broke and fell. And all of a sudden, when it collapsed, very large pythons fell out. I thought to myself, now that is the reason why I love living in Canada. So we have to find something that we love about being here. Otherwise, it's going to be a really challenging journey moving forward. Welcome to Life Force Canada. We have an amazing announcement this evening. Exciting changes. We're going to be introducing our Life Force Canada Private Sovereign Association. Yay. Before we do that, though, we have some updates. Oh, and happy Family Day. I actually can't wait till we do not have to even have holidays anymore like this. Every day will be Family Day. Every day will be Love Day. Every day will be a celebration of life on Earth, right? We are going to be creating so much change for the better. It is a very exciting journey that we're on. As long as you are living above the line, of course, right? Fear is our enemy. So make sure that you're doing your shadow work to move through the chaos. I'm not too sure if any of you ever watched Dr. Merritt, the medical rebel on Rumble. If you don't, I highly recommend. She's amazing. But she was sharing that she was a part of the Doctors of Disaster and discovered that most of the chemical spills that we've heard about on the news, right, are not what we think they are. She stated that, for example, Fukushima, that no one actually died of radiation poisoning. It was all a lie. Who knew? There's always another agenda. And she said what killed the people was the fear. Having to move out of their homes. So the Japanese people, she said, stay in one home their whole entire lives, right? So the same thing happened in Chernobyl. The townspeople did not die of radiation poisoning. They call it death translocation. It is the fear that they perpetuate, and that's what does the damage. They always exaggerate things like they did in 2020, and they continue to. And the agenda is being run, as we know, by psychopaths. They do not tell the truth. So she said the same thing happened in Ohio with the train wrecks and all the chemicals that were spilled over. She said, yes, it affects many, it affects animals, etc. But the chemicals she named are the ones that disperse immediately. So what it is a land grab. That's what all of any of the chemical spills in the past, just land grabs. So they go in and they scare the people to death so much that they have to leave their town. So I'm sharing this because if there is ever a chemical spill or anything like that in Canada, we need to just find out first what type of chemicals it is before we ever move out of our towns. It really is about scaring people so they leave and they move to the city. So this is one of the reasons why we are constantly sharing about the importance of the power is in the town, the power is in the county. And we know with these 15-minute city agendas coming forward that we really need to start planning, right? And of course, we know the Ohio train wreck, right? They have a movie on Netflix called White Noise that came out in November. They're always showing us what they plan to do. Sandra is going to be giving us a powerful presentation. Sandra, go ahead.
Greetings and blessings to everyone from Calgary. I'm going to share my screen here and I'm going to do just a quick little slideshow. As you know, our Monday calls are recorded and we quite often have guests doing presentations. So we just felt that we'd do a little presentation on Zoom etiquette for these meetings. The slideshow set up in particular for the Monday call, but it should apply to all of our Zoom calls where we're gathering. You know, Zoom is an informal way to gather, but we do have to show some respect for our guests, etc. So bear with me. And we're going to start with the etiquette tips that we would like you to bear in mind as we have these calls. Mindfulness. Be mindful of the space you are in for our meetings. Choose a quiet, private location with a neutral background. We love to see your smiling faces on the screen. You don't have to have your camera on, but if you do choose to be here, you know, we're looking for less distractions. Respect. Please be respectful of all Lifeforce Canada members, guests, and our time together. Be kind when commenting on other groups or organizations. And be professional, whether on camera or off camera. Please show up as if you were attending an in-person meeting. You know, consider this how you would go to someone's home that was having a gathering, or if you were going to a hall or meeting room to gather. So the Zoom chat, we found it to be somewhat of a discussion. Just before we went on air tonight, I got a quick text from Karen. So we had intended that the chat function will be disabled during any presentations that we have by guests, but Karen's proposal is that we try it one more time. We will disable the chat if it looks like people are too distracted and not paying attention. After a presentation, the chat will be enabled. And so once it is enabled, focus your comments on the evening's topic or subject matter as much as possible. You can ask questions and you can affirm other members. And please let us know or comment if you're having challenges with any of the Zoom technology. Also, if you'd like to ask a question, raise your hand, or if you wish to speak. Brian always does a good job of explaining how to access the raise hand feature. It's preferable that you ask your questions in person rather than throwing questions into the chat. The chat can move very quickly and questions can get missed. Plus, it's more interactive if you are actually participating by speaking up. When you are called on, speak clearly and slowly so that we have time to keep up with you. And please try and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Sometimes the calls tend to get a little hijacked. And so we just want to try and stay on topic. And usually there's several hands up and we need to allow everyone an opportunity to have their turn. And also it helps to keep the calls a little bit within a time frame. The mute button, keep yourself muted at all times. It can be really distracting if there's noise or also if when we're recording the speaker, it changes the speaker view to whoever is speaking at the time. So all of a sudden the recording can be interrupted with someone's picture or face. Unmute only when it's time to speak. And if you need to briefly step away from the meeting, please mute your microphone and turn off your web camera. Just also mention in regards to cameras, sometimes people use a virtual background. And if you're not sitting close enough to your computer, you can fade in and out. Suddenly you become the invisible person. And that can be very distracting. If you have any announcements you'd like to share, if you have a business announcement or an upcoming event, we'd ask that you post it in the Lifeforce Canada Marketplace on Telegram. The last thing is to observe Robert's Rules of Orders for online business meetings. We thank you very much for attending our meetings. We're glad that you're here, and together we rise. I yield.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for sharing Lifeforce Canada Zoom etiquette. Going forward, everything will be just ease and grace. I wasn't really going to speak into the 15-minute city agenda tonight, but I think it's just important. I'm just going to speak briefly into it. A lot of people know about it, but a lot of people don't. And the idea is that everything you need should be within 15-minute walk or cycle from any point in the city. So this means shopping, education, healthcare, right? Any amenity. And the idea has been promoted around the world where walking would once again be the most common mode of transport. I love walking. I love the idea where we're all focused on health and well-being. It sounds pleasant, doesn't it? Yes, however, it really represents an assault on our personal freedoms when we're forced to live this way. And I'm sure you all saw the video on, what was it, the 19th of February, when thousands of people joined a protest in Oxford against the plan to introduce this 15-minute city. Okay, if you are on Facebook, there is a group called the Rejecting the 15-Minute City. I just really found out about it. But I made this post last week, and all I shared was I was out for breakfast with my mom's, two friends of my mom's, and there are my friends too, but they just adore my mom. And she is very awake and aware. She is totally with what we are all about. However, he is complete opposite end of the spectrum. And she brought up the 15-minute city. And so I thought that they had discussed it. And so I'm sharing all about it and about the protests in Oxford. And he started yelling at me in Sunterra in the cafe. And he's like, "You're crazy. You sound ridiculous. There's no such thing as a 15-minute city." And he's saying, "I read the papers and I watch the news and there's no 15-minute city." Anyway, I just shared this. And when I did share it, I didn't have the link to Life Force Canada, but I have over 840 people who have liked it and almost like 465 comments. So I'm just sharing this because this is a very big topic right now. And I'm also sharing this because I do believe this is what's going to be waking people up to transition and really learn about what options are available. Because I think one of the comments here, she says, "Who has solutions?" People are looking for solutions. And now if you go on to, this is a government website. It's the Infrastructure for Canada. I will share the link here in the chat in just a moment. The government is giving away millions and millions of dollars for this infrastructure to be created. And for instance, if you go to Moose Factory, Ontario, they are receiving $10 million to form their 15-minute city. And you go to City of Winnipeg, they're receiving $50 million to create their 15-minute city. Saskatoon is receiving 10 million. Town of Banff is getting 10 million. I'm just trying to find maybe a little town here. Town of Valley View is getting 5 million. So we really need to be following what towns are saying yes to this. And we really need to find out what towns are saying no to it, because those are the towns we really want to support in moving out of the public jurisdiction and into the private domain. Because a lot of these towns, they have no idea that there's even another option available to them at all. So, okay, so that brings me to our website, the lifeforcecanada.ca website. If you are on here and you just received the Zoom link from a friend, I highly recommend you go to our website here and you sign up, because that's how you find out about these amazing courses that we have. And that's how you find out about what we're doing here. So we're really about building Canada's parallel society, and we're constantly updating and evolving. Everything is organic as we're moving forward. We're really reminding people, do you know that your birth certificate has you registered in the human debt slavery system and the government makes millions off of it? Do you know that you're each province, the nation? So questions like this, right? Do you know your government is creating 50-minute cities and they're not here to serve you in the long term? I have met friends last week and they didn't even know that YouTube was banning us. Anytime that I share a presentation from a doctor who's going against the health narrative, that we're banned. People don't even know this is happening in this country. And so we're here to share this knowledge. It's so important for everyone to start sharing this website and allow people to say, hey, if you want to know another solution rather than what the government is sharing, then bring them to this website. So these are, again, our forums that we have here. If you go to in the menu here at the very top, there's home, about, there's join a forum. These forums are really powerful conversations that you can have during the week. The health and well-being forum and the agriculture forum are now in the open forum on Tuesdays. We have the economic forum, which is now really the Sovereign Shopping Network, and Dwayne has those calls on Wednesday evenings. The education forum is with Hilla. These are so important because we're talking about subjects and topics that we really need to discuss and really find solutions moving forward. And then, of course, the Natural Law Forum with Brian and Karen Hanna co-host, and the energy alternatives. This is what Dwayne offers on Thursdays. As I mentioned, the agriculture is part of the Tuesday call. So they're also on the Tuesday, there's updates from Kai and the Calgary Plant Council as well. The media is every second Thursday. Natural law is every second Thursday, but you can find out here when these calls are. Plus, we have the Connect page. Thank you so much for Karen Hanna for assisting me in creating this page. She put all these links together here. So if you need to find links for anything, they're right here. For the Telegram groups as well. If you want to sign up on Sovereign, you can just go here and register. If it feels right to you, it's right here. There's a few videos that you can watch as well. This is the barter system that Dwayne talks about on Wednesdays. Our guardians are here. These are all the people, all the different freedom movements that we're connected with. We just had Canada Health Alliance. We had Alan and Jennifer and Bill speak a couple of weeks ago. And so we're just really supporting and making sure that we're all collaborating together, because this is the only way we're ever going to move forward. The Monday replays, if you have missed a Monday, you can just go here now. Instead of going to our YouTube channel, finding it, you just go here and click on YouTube or Rumble. Again, Rumble's where you find all of our health related presentations. Now here's the Academy. This is where you go to find the public courses. We're going to be changing this page a little bit, but this is where all the public courses are going to be listed. So here is the bridge. Highly recommend it. If you haven't taken it before, Ray and Rebecca, the Activate Us team are so incredible. And this is one of the most powerful ways on how we're going to be moving forward, plus the PMA course that Laura Jane has created as well. So this is really powerful. Plus, if you are a teacher here, this is another course. If you're a parent and you want to homeschool, and then we've got Hilla Russ Woodland here, and she's a powerful facilitator. And of course, we have our education forum here, which is going to be in the private domain, because we want to make sure that our teachers and parents are protected in the private domain. Moving forward, here's our resource page. We're going to be bringing more and more articles here. If you want to know the difference between legal and lawful, if you want to listen to the Backcasting 2030, it's all here. We're going to be creating this here resource page to really allow you to step into your own enlightenment. I'm also going to be adding here a really powerful protection prayer. A lot of people are feeling that they're being attacked in the spiritual realm. So this is where this information is going to be going. And then we have our shop page here. This is where you can buy t-shirts to support Life First Canada. I just bought 2 Face Everything and Rise t-shirts. I bought one for my mom. She looks so cute. So we have matching t-shirts now. So we're here to relinquish all fear that limits us so that we can live above the line as we move forward. Okay, so going back to the home page. Just going to go scroll all the way to the bottom. If you ever want to donate, please, we're always open to receiving donations. We do this voluntarily. We work long hours and we so appreciate your donations, 100%. Okay, so today we are announcing our private membership is finally available. Yay. So now you have two options. As it says here, we can only accomplish this together. So get involved today. All member levels have access to our weekly Monday and Tuesday connection calls, our forums and Telegram channels, which will remain in the public domain for now. So everyone that signed up here, you've signed up on the left. So you've signed up and you've become a free member, and we're so grateful to have you here. And now we have our private membership available under our private sovereign association. And this is where Laura Jane takes over.
Thank you, Karen. Very excited. We did it.
Yeah.
Yay. So we have created a private sovereign association. It's Lifeforce Canada, a private sovereign association. And we did it for the reasons that are listed here. We have felt the pain financially, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically from the overreach of government since 2020 and before. We are tired of giving away our authority and our power to the governments. We know that we see the 15-minute cities, we see what's coming down the pike, and we really want to expand and not be caught in. And we are ready to shift the power and authority, and that is coming to you through private sovereign association. So here's our solution to all those headaches. Lifeforce Canada is creating bridges to build parallel societies. We are placing Lifeforce Canada under a private sovereign association. By joining our PSA, you are removing yourself from any responsibilities or entitlements within the public domain. This includes enforcement of any public government actions, mandates, rules, or regulations. Signing your member agreement as a man or woman creates a contract through natural law that protects and secures your unalienable rights. Our vision is to support our parallel societies with the creation of communities, towns, and businesses that have established themselves outside the public jurisdiction. The purpose is to share knowledge and information so that we can collectively exit the corporate matrix and the 15-minute city agenda as we co-create a new earth together. We recognize that the best way to build lawful parallel societies is, number one, establish communities, towns, counties, regions that operate in the private based on natural law of do no harm. Two, create local communities as unincorporated private associations to exit the public domain, that's the government jurisdiction, and to accept the rights and responsibilities to function within the private domain. Three, Lifeforce Canada Private Sovereign Association will provide a national and provincial directory of parallel communities and businesses functioning with lawful PMAs. This directory will help allied private members locate and interact with each other within the private domain. As a Lifeforce Canada PS Private Sovereign Association private member, we're very private. You are consciously consenting to enter into a private contract with us, thus moving into the private domain. Have I stressed the word private enough here? Lifeforce Canada PSA neither requires nor seeks any authority or permission from any government for its creation or administration. The bottom line is we are guided by our moral ethics and sole purpose. So that's a bit about us. What I want to stress, and I think I've said this every class I've done, this is not about being anti-government. It's about taking back our power. We know there's a lot of information to grasp as this is a complete shift in mindset and jurisdiction of authority. We'll be offering courses and trainings in our private member portal that will prepare you and assist you in any situation. A big part of your journey will be the deprogramming from the way you've been taught to be in this world. Part of the training moving forward also involves educating government officials who think they have authority over you. This is a way to do this that allows you to stay in control. There is a way, rather. And now I'm going to turn over to Karen Hanna.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to just give a quick review then of the benefits of the private members will receive. And Laura Jane had touched on some of these. There's going to be the private academies. So our members are going to have access to some courses through the member portal that are not available to the public. We'll also, of course, have our public courses on our website that are available to anyone, but there will be special discounts for our private members. There's also going to be workshops in the future, which will be both live and online. And then the next section is the LifeForce Canada private directories and portals. So we do have health and well-being directory, and Karen had mentioned the education portal that's going to be in the future only available to the private members. And we're in the process of creating a national directory, which will be a listing of private associations and communities throughout the country. The next section is a private resource library. And this is where we're going to be organizing and compiling some of the amazing resources that have been collected, that our members have been sharing and whatnot over the last few years, like in our Telegram groups and whatnot. So right now it takes, quite a bit of looking around in the files section and whatnot. And so we're going to organize some of those, the best of the best, and create a really helpful resource library for you. In addition, we're going to have special member events, and these will be Zoom calls, and also there will be live meetups as well. Our private members will also receive a couple of downloadable ebooks. One is Karen's book, The Living in the Freedom Frequency, and the other one is The Turning Point. So this is the book that was put together from the sharings that we had on our backcasting call a few weeks ago. And I think that's it. So with that, I yield.
And Karen Hanna, thank you for compiling the Turning Point ebook. Thank you.
Welcome.
Back to you, Laura Jane.
Okay, thank you. Great. So join us and be part of the solution. Together we can build a new earth. It'll be an earth of love, connection, trust, and freedom. And thank you for being here and now. So I want to walk you through what'll happen when you decide to become a private member. The first thing will happen, you'll click on the Join Now, and an application form will come up, and there's 6 simple questions to answer, just so that we get to know you. Remember, part of a private member association is one of building a family. So we just would like to know a little bit about who we're adopting. The second part what'll happen is after you've completed that, you will get to read and accept the member agreement. So we're going to move into that because most of the people that are going to be applying for the private member are already LifeForce Canada free subscribers. So you're going to get that, and what'll come up is you need to read that member agreement and understand or comprehend it fully. Then what you'll do is once you've completed that and you've signed it, you will then be asked to make your donation. And we have two ways to do it. You can pay $10 monthly. It'll be on an auto renewal, so you will have it come up, or at least be notified. Or you can join yearly at $100. Now, you'll notice if you pay monthly, you're paying 120 a year. If you go yearly, you pay 100 upfront. That's it. And to access all these wonderful resources and to truly move into the private, you can join now. And with that, I yield. Thank you.
Yay, thank you. Thank you to Laura Jane and Karen Hanna for the last couple of months. They've been really assisting me in creating this website and the pages and the content and helping me put it together. And then yesterday and today, Sandra and all of us were editing the pages. So I appreciate all of you. So grateful.
And we appreciate you for taking the leadership on all of this. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yay, I'm so excited. We did mean to have that private membership aspect available sooner than this, but I had to learn a program that I was not familiar with. So I just want to take a moment here. If anyone has any questions in regards to what I have shared or what Sandra shared in regards to etiquette or what Laura Jana shared, just raise your hand and let me know. Okay, Teresa Klassen, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Question is just something connected to, I think it was Laura Jane's, or maybe it was Karen Hanna's comments on benefits, and she was going through the list, and I just wrote down a quick question. She was talking about the courses and whether they were private or being offered to the public. And that sort of tripped me up because we're talking about the difference between a private member association and the public scenario that is government overreach related. So it just kind of confused me when there's a comment about courses that are available to the public. And I think you mean people that are not members of LifeForce Canada as the membership goes, as opposed to public in the context of our public governmental run operation out there. It was just a bit confusing for me. So I kind of just wanted to have that clarified. See if I was confused, perhaps some others were too.
You're absolutely right, Teresa. What it is when we refer to the public, those are the ones that will be on the LifeForce Canada webpage, the open webpage that anyone can access. But we will have specific programs for the private members as well. And it doesn't commingle, and it doesn't interfere because they're two separate. There's a wall. It's like you can go into the LifeForce Canada open door, or you can come into the LifeForce Canada private door. Okay, so we have separated them out.
I did understand the concept, but I was just thinking that for clarification beyond for me, if someone was reading it and just getting introduced to LifeForce Canada's explanation of what's going on out there and the importance of private membership associations, that when the word public pops up, for me, I'm starting to not like anything that has the word public in it, just for obvious reasons because of what's going on. So maybe as we go forward into our new future, we're going to be re-examining how we use our language, and I'd be happy to try and think of something that's alternate for clear understanding. But thank you for your clarification.
Okay,
mind if
thank you
I
for the
jump in?
question.
Just for a quick response. So when we actually debated this when we were preparing that graphic and the list, and we had it originally as level 1 courses, but then there wasn't a distinction between what's a level, then there was the backside of that is how level 2 equates to being private. So there was just a way of making the distinction between the private courses that are only accessed by becoming a private member. So that's that. We could have stuck with level 1, but that would have caused another bit of confusion as well. So it's hard to find that to put that terminology in or description in a succinct way. But thank you for bringing that to our attention. It's not unnoticed. I yield.
Thank you, Teresa. And the goal here too is for everyone to go into the privates as well. Sibylla.
Well, I've been, on and off here in this group as well as in other related group like Freedom Rising and other things. And I have like one comment that is about my situation in the sense that in this particular moment, I'm 75 and I'm entirely dependent on the government. I mean, in the sense that I'm living on a pension and the guaranteed income supplement. I would love to be able to find another way, but at this moment, that's all I have basically, and a little bit of RIF, that I can get about $1,000 more a year. So that's so I'm kind of wondering, what how can I say? I can be a member and I want to be a member, but if you see what my situation is, I can't quite say, hey, to the government, hey, I want to have nothing to do with you, because then I'm just starving. So that's one comment that I wanted to have, and I'm sure that there may be other people in my situation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I do believe that many people are concerned about them receiving their pensions, etc., and how they can let go. Right now, what we're sharing is that many of us, the majority of Canadians, we are paying for our driver's license, we're paying insurance. Some people are paying for their taxes, etc. And so we are still in the public domain. As long as we're here, we're still in the public domain. And it's important to still be paying our bills, etc. What we're doing is we're creating a bridge. We're just showing you steps so that when the day comes, right? When the day arrives, and that day will come, that you will have all the tools and everything that you need for your exit strategy. So we're not saying that this is something that's going to happen tomorrow. We're educating you on how to cross over the bridge. So, but thank you for bringing that topic up. It's very important. And Rebecca, are you still here? I don't know. Is Ray here? Rebecca,
Yes, I'm still here. Yeah.
if you want to answer her questions regarding the bridge, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So the bridge workshop is two Saturdays. It'll be the Saturday the 25th of February and then Saturday the 4th. We have a bunch of videos on our website activateus.org that will be the homework between the two sessions, but you can certainly watch them beforehand. It'll give you a really good idea of what the bridge is. The bridge is actually basically what you are all talking about here, is the steps to get us from where we are here, dependent on the government and paying our bills and all of the things that we have to do, to this place where life is much more equitable and free flowing and all of those kinds of things. Not necessarily free, but it is a process, just like what Karen was saying today. It's a process, and the bridge creates a platform that makes it possible to take steps to get us to there, where it's not like all of a sudden we're living in this free world without where everybody's taken care of. It's a process, and we all take steps, and it starts with the focus on business. But the bridge is a whole model. It's a whole societal model, basically upgrading our operating system of how we function on this planet. So that's what that is. Hopefully that answers those questions. Okay. Oh, and I'm sorry, the price is $60 for the two, and it's 3 hours each day. So
great. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca. And we are using Stripe now. We know that people have been canceled with Stripe too. So unfortunately, we have to use what we use right now until someone in the freedom movement creates their own. True Guy.
Yes, good evening. Greetings, everybody. Wonderful, wonderful work. It's just great. I just want to say thank you for all of that amazing amount of organization of information and all the hard work you've been doing. Just a quick question, which is connected to when many people at last summer's Life Force Canada annual, what do you call it? Party, get together?
Gathering, yes.
Gathering. Many people signed a form, connected to the private membership association. And I'm just wondering how that is being processed in relationship to what Laura Jane has just introduced in terms of the two tiers of the private membership community.
Good point. I actually thought about that myself, True Guy, is that we had signed that. I believe that was our preliminary paperwork that we had developed prior to even Laura Jane completing her coursework, etc. And I believe that was more focused on Alberta at the
Yes,
time.
it was.
And we have all of those documents still in safekeeping. So this is like another evolution of Lifeforce Canada. At the time, I think you'll remember we spoke about there being sort of like the umbrella, and and this whole directory of other PMAs. This is to allow all of us in our different capacities of whatever group we're associated with to collaborate in the private domain. So Lifeforce Canada, by forming its own PMA or private sovereign association, is creating that sort of umbrella, so that those Alberta, so there's kind of two levels, and that I was going to address this if the question came up. You know, we have other groups like YYC Rocks or Plan Council Calgary, or there might be a group out of Ontario that wants to interact with us as well. But if they've got a membership level and we've got a membership level, so we are working on the ways of collaborating between the various groups. So just by becoming a private member for Lifeforce Canada, you receive the benefits that we are able to offer you. And then through that portal, you will be connected to other groups that you can work with as well.
So it's a more comprehensive membership in that sense?
Yes, more overriding as far as, you know, we're Canada, a Canadian level, as opposed to the Alberta one that you signed in when we had the gathering.
Right. Okay.
Which hasn't been, the Alberta group hasn't really been very active. And it was very symbolic for us to do that, to move into that, to take that first step. I would say I haven't really looked at the paperwork and how it's transformed. Like when you see the agreement, when you do click on this website now to complete the agreement, you know, thanks to Laura Jane and all of her study and work, and she teaches the course now on private member associations. You know, we've really tried to put it into place and put our vision forward. And the thing is that if you haven't taken the course yet, you may not necessarily be fully, I'm not just speaking to you, True Guy, but I'm speaking to everyone here. You're not fully aware of what the actual entire context of what a private member association is. So, but as Laura Jane said, it's about creating a family, and it's about, are you in alignment with our vision of what we're offering and where our vision wants to take us? And do you want to join us, and do you want to partake of whatever services we are offering? So in other cases, it's because we're that type of a service organization is the nature of what our PMA is. If you're a healthcare provider, it's going to be a different nature. It's a different exchange of services, or it's a different benefit that you're receiving from them. You're receiving, you know, advice from them on health matters or something else. So it's every private member agreement or association is a little different because their focus is a little different.
Every private membership association is about creating and sharing your vision, and the people will be attracted to that private member association based on them feeling that that's where they want to go. What is it that you say, Karen? The vibe attracts the tribe. And so everyone will be different. And I've been working with a lot of very different private membership associations. So it's very focused. Ours is focused on parallel societies, educating and supporting the growth of those parallel societies so that we can step and let the public do whatever the public wants to do, but we're going to be creating societies that are outside of that and in the natural law realm. So that's what we do. That's our vision. So of course, we're going to attract people who have that same vision and want to learn how to do that and how to contribute, right? So you're going to be part of that family. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I'll yield. Thank you. Good question.
Could I jump in again? I noticed there was a comment about costs, and I tried to address that in what I was saying. So we do still offer the free membership, which still gives you access to all of our calls, all of our forums, the
Telegram.
social club. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. So I understand that we're trying to keep the fees reasonable for what we offer, and you would only sign up if it is something that you really, really want to participate in and take it to the next level. I yield.
Thank you, Sandra. And then on the flip side of that, if you're buying, anyone, right, is buying a cheap bottle of wine, instead of buying the cheap bottle of wine, pay the $10 a month membership fee. That puts everything into perspective. Wendy, go ahead.
I just wanted to speak to Sibylla's question that she raised. When we collect our pension as seniors, we're collecting our own money. We are not taking a handout from the government. You were forced to pay into that all your working life. You paid small amounts of money and the government invested that for you so that you would have a pension. The whole thing was a scam. You would have done much better had you taken your own money, which it was your money from your paycheck. If you would have taken that and invested that, even at modest interest rates, you would have way more than $1 million when you turn 65 in order to spend and use. So you are not taking a government handout. It's not the same as POGI or being on, what they call people who don't work, who don't want to work. We worked our whole life. We started working when we were 18 or 14, and we paid into CPP. We're collecting our own money. We are not living off the government. And the government promised us that, and we went along with it. And that is our money. That's not the government money that we're collecting. I just like to clarify that.
Sure, thank you. I understand that, but I don't even have CPP because first of all, I was a refugee and I came to Canada already a young adult, okay? So I didn't start earning immediately in Canada because I had to first learn the language well and so on and so forth. So I have a pension actually from Quebec, not from Canada. My two different pensions are from Quebec. And then I'm the OAS. And then I have guaranteed income supplement because otherwise I wouldn't be able to survive.
When we do parallel societies, one of the great principles of a parallel society is that the seniors can age in place and the community will look after them.
Yes.
And so we're looking for a new civilization that has, compassion for those who need our assistance, whether they're the young, very young people or the elderly people or those who are disabled. And
and we can all contribute something. I mean, I speak and write and yes, I can contribute that. I can, Spanish, German, English, and French. I could do something like that. I can do
absolutely
and groups. I can still contribute. It's just that I can't do much in terms of earning.
Yeah.
Many cultures have honored their elderly, many cultures.
Thank you. Beautiful conversation. And yes, we're definitely moving into a contributionism society. It is going to be so incredible. We just need to keep that mental image in our minds to knowing that we can step out of all government programs, that we don't need anything that they offer us, that we're going to be taking care of ourselves and everyone within our family units as a community together. Okay, I just wanted to speak into the infrastructure website that I shared. Okay, so there was a challenge, yes. I just want to reiterate that the government created that as an initiative for towns and cities to get involved, but guaranteed every town and every city is going to be receiving millions of dollars. Every town across this realm, every city in every country, they're all getting funded for the 15-minute city. That challenge was just to initiate a spark in everyone. I want money, but they're all going to be receiving it. Ole, go ahead.
Thank you, Karen. You guys doing wonderful job of creating this educational portal. And while listening Laura Jane, and then Sandra, I find a little bit confusion between private membership association and private sovereign association. When talking about benefits, Laura Jane mixed those terms up. That makes a confusion. I believe when we move to the natural law, we should simplify things, not complicate things.
I agree. Thank you so much. Okay, so
So,
like,
and one more thing,
go ahead.
and I yield. When I read under learn more, there is a like very strong statement that is saying, by joining our PSA, you're removing yourself from any responsibilities or entitlements within the public domain. This is, excuse me, a very strong statement. It's like immediately when I join this PSA, I'm free. I'm in a private domain.
Yes, you are.
But this is, excuse me, this is a very long transition between domains.
Yes,
It's painful for some people, like you hear the comments.
I
It
get it.
takes time, and it's like kind of, you go through all of these challenges. It's not as easy.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate your opinion. So just to clarify, Life First Canada has created our own PMA, and we're calling it the Private Sovereign Association. That is our umbrella. And so we're creating an umbrella, the Private Sovereign Association. And then with underneath that umbrella, we're going to be creating a directory of all of the freedom movements who are going to be creating their own PMAs, their own private membership association, whether that is going to be a business, a health clinic, or a school, or maybe it's a town, because a lot of towns now are becoming aware that they need to step out of the public jurisdiction and into the private. So we're going to be creating that directory. And so when you sign up and become a member under the Private Sovereign Association, you are now saying yes on a spiritual level, on an energetic level, on a mental level, emotional level, that you are now no longer in the government domain. Now, once you're as a member, as a private member, you are now on the journey to learn how to unplug physically. And that's going to take a few years as we move through the processes of whatever they're creating out there. Then we are allowing for ourselves to become more empowered with information that we need. And as I showcased that Facebook group, the 15-minute city is awakening so many people that were not awake in 2020. So that's the next level of consciousness that is going to be realized. And we're going to see a lot more people joining the different freedom movements and groups. So it's very exciting in that way. So Laura Jane, do you want to just share in regards to the second question that Oleg asked?
There's a differentiation. When you're part of this PSA, the Private Sovereign Association, you actually are in the private, and you have to, when you join, you will see that you're joining it as a private man or woman. So that is where that comes in. I can understand the confusion. One of the things that as we bridge, maybe we can look at how we have a foot in both. But every private member association, or in our case, private sovereign association, that you become part of, and I'm part of many, that is taking one more step into the private, taking one more step into self-responsibility. So that's how that sort of goes. So it's going to be progressive, you know, and it'll gradually build, but it's not that we're going to jump from public to private all at once. However, we still need to make it very clear that when you are here, you are exercising your sovereignty, your free speech, your all of that in a protected, safe space. So that's what that's about. So we'll look at the wording. So good comments. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Laura Jane. And And knowing that we see you as a man or a woman here, that you're no longer a citizen, you are no longer a resident, you're no longer a person. Teresa, go ahead.
Thanks, Karen. I've got something to offer for Sibylla, and Wendy, you're right. We did work for those payments that we get as seniors. I can offer a little clarity because I did payroll for many years, and I had also done a lot of administration of employee benefits, and government pension stuff came up in the coursework for a diploma in human resources. And the Quebec pension plan is is the version in Quebec of the CPP. From doing lots of payroll and also doing income tax for folks, it's always a different line when you're filling out Quebec income tax because of that. So it's actually a kind of a parody of CPP, but because you were in Quebec, it's their version of CPP. So that's just a little clarity on what the difference is, that you're getting the Quebec version, for instance, of myself. I turned 65 last year, and I'm now getting the CPP and the OAS, GIS and such. So that's just a little bit of light on that subject. So I just wanted to put everyone's kind of curiosity at rest on that, so that we're understanding how Quebec always seems to have an extra line for various different things when it comes to do with the choices that they've made to govern their province, and that's sort of one of the things that they did differently.
Yeah, that's true. And I actually had asked in an occasion before if there is a life force, group in Quebec, if there is a French-speaking group, because I have actually a number of good friends who are exactly on that kind of path. So in Quebec. So, but I didn't know if there is a French-speaking, group of life force, and that's another really important question for me, because I have friends there, and I would like them to be able to participate.
Well, you're welcome to have them join us at lifeforcecanada.ca, and they can join here.
But a lot of them are not English speakers.
Oh, they're not. Okay, I get it. Right.
That's why I'm asking if there's a French-speaking.
Sorry. I missed that, Sybil. Sorry. Is there anyone here that is from Quebec? Frank is inviting you to the Ottawa group. They're bilingual. Thank you, Frank.
Okay, where is that information?
In the chat. He's in the chat. Frank, if you can maybe private message Sybil with your information, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay, I will.
Thank you. Thank you. This is what it's all about. Yay.
Hi, Karen.
Hello.
Quick question. So the PMA is for businesses, is it not?
PMA is for businesses.
If you have a business, yeah.
Yeah, or towns, etc. Yes.
Okay, so the private sovereign association, then, do you have to have a business in order to join?
No, you do not.
Okay, so it's more for personal, I guess, just for, like you say, it's an umbrella and it covers everything. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you
for asking a great question. Yes, we're here to teach everyone how to step out of the public domain and into the private as we move forward. And so this is really about unplugging from all the programming that we've been associated with as we move forward. And it's not just the government pieces, but it's moving out of fear. We're teaching everyone how to deprogram from fear-based consciousness and really to learn how to truly live above the line in love, and to know that love is our power, and to know that we have the power to create a prosperous future, a prosperous reality, to create a reality that is exactly what our heart and soul has always yearned for. And so we're just here to remind everyone to really focus on solutions moving forward, and that our future is bright. And everything that they are creating, as we mentioned many times on our calls, and I mentioned earlier tonight, is that they are just exaggerating circumstances. They're exaggerating stories So anything that we ever have seen on the news has really been a lie. Everything that we've learned in school has been a lie. So we're just having to unlearn, unschool ourselves. And that's going to take some time. Sandra, go ahead.
I'll just take an opportunity to make another announcement in regards to our social night that we're planning on March 18th. More details will be coming forward, but we have confirmed the time with the, it's called the Community Wealth Game. It's an online game. It was created through the people who bring you the Bridge Workshop, or they're associated through Activate Us. So we are planning a game night on Saturday evening, March 18th. And I believe settled on a 5 p.m. start and then the game hosts will explain everyone how the game works, and then we'll play the game for an hour or so. So if you would like to join us, we'd love to have you. And we'll watch Telegram threads. We've created some graphics with the information in the Zoom link and things like that. So it's a ways away, but I just want to put it out there for you to mark, save the date. Hope to see you there. Thanks.
Thank you, Sandra. Hilla, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm just on my phone. I'm not home, but I just wanted to plug in quickly the LifeForce Canada Education Forum this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. And this time we'll focus on SOGI and drag queen storytelling, and educate our members about what's happening with respect to those issues and brainstorm about solutions together.
Thank you, Hilla.
With that, thank you.
And I do apologize to everyone when I sent out the email in regards to last Wednesday and the Education Forum, it was the wrong date. So it is this Wednesday. And even if anyone here is not a parent or a teacher, be a part of that conversation, because the children in the schools are going through hell right now. I have a friend of mine, there's a few of us that know her, and her granddaughter was in one of the schools here in Calgary and came home and said that a girl at school identifies as a demon, and she was going around biting people, and the teachers were not doing anything about it. And if she hadn't asked her granddaughter about it, she wouldn't have known. So it's really important to learn what Hilla has to share on these calls. Maybe you've got grandchildren, maybe you've got, friends that have children in school. And this way we are educated and we know what's happening and how we can have those really important conversations. Because now my friend has taken her granddaughter out of the public school system and is now homeschooling. And so that's what our whole education forum is about. It's about learning how to become a homeschooler, learning how to just share information in regards to teachers who are exiting the public school system. And that's what our whole education portal is all about as well. If you go to the lifeforcecanada.ca website, on the main menu bar, you'll see children. Children are a really important topic that we all need to really get involved, because oh my gosh, what's happening right now, the indoctrination, we thought it was really bad years ago, but it's just getting worse. And a lot of parents have no idea what's happening. So thank you, Hilla, for offering this education forum every second Wednesday.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure. And it's so great to be able to support each other and to come up with solutions, because there are possibilities to help parents to opt out of the system, to create new systems, and to even better homeschooling. So join a community-based learning pods and do that together. Thank you, Karen.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We have a powerful journey ahead of us. Sometimes we may fall down, but we're here to help you get back up, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. Together we rise, everyone. Lots of love.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks,
Night,
Karen.
everyone.
Great meeting, thanks.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
God bless.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
everyone.